At Life Hack Coaching, we help women over 35 to balance hormones naturally, boost metabolism, and lose weight sustainably. Hi everyone, today I've got one of my incredible clients, Jacqui, on podcast. She's been through such a wonderful and powerful journey. She came to me feeling stuck, frustrated, and her body wasn't doing what it's supposed to be doing, wasn't playing the ball. Like we've all been there. Sounds familiar, right? So fast forward now, she dropped weight, she gained energy, and she completely shifted how she showed up for herself. I wanted her to share her story with you because, real woman, real results, and that's what we're all about, right? So hi, Jacqui.
Hi.
So Jacqui, can you share a little bit about where you were at before we started and what made you to reach out?
I'm probably going to start off with the F word. I felt incredibly fat. Just frustrated. Not a good start. And just so tired, really tired, and just fed up with trying different things and just didn't know where to start really. And then I don't know where to do it. It was the universe calling out, but you kept showing up in my Instagram feed like you were haunting me. And I thought, well, if anyone can kick my ass, it's going to be you. So I reached out.
Yeah, you have, and you had such amazing results. I guess, unfortunately, our body is at this stage going through such a big changes that, what we did in the past does not work anymore. And it's not about going on diet because there's no magic pill. If you follow the plan, if you lose weight, but then you stop and you go back to your old habits, you will gain it back up again. There's nothing will prevent or stop you from gaining weight. So it's all about changing lifestyle, implementing changes, I guess, one step at a time, learning what your body what doesn't like, and then kind of sticking to it, right? So what were some of the biggest you were struggling with physically and emotionally?
I think the biggest thing was the frustration of, like you said before, things that used to work in the past or things that were working for different people, I'd give them a go and it wouldn't work. It was the, copious amounts of cardio and a little bit of strength work because I've been down that road before. But I guess I was so tired all the time that I really wanted to do it, but then I had no motivation or energy to make changes. And I just got fed up and just annoyed with things not working. And I think physically I felt like everything was kind of falling apart, like my hips were sore and my knees were sore and things that I used to be able to do, and having a toddler in the house, getting up and down off the floor and picking her up and getting sore shoulders because I'm carrying her around. And I don't want to be, I'm already an older mum. I don't want to be that, creaky older mum. So I want to be able to hang out with her and not feel tired all the time.
Yeah, and I guess that one is a stronger why as well, when it's not just about the look, it's about how your body function and what you can do with it. And that's how I look at it. Because sometimes I'm so sick of eating clean, exercising every day, having soda, making sure that I get enough sleep, all of that stuff. I'm just sitting there like, why am I doing this? Like, I'm so sick of this. Why can't I just eat whatever I want and not exercise and sleep 2-3 hours? Yes. Because I get so sick of it. But then I think about it, it's investment into your longevity, right? It's not how it impacts you right now. Because, it impacts you right now a little bit and you feel crap next day if you eat shit food. But how is it going to impact you in the future? What is it doing to your body now that you're going to pay for 20 years later if you're going to make it 20 years? That's how I see. I see so many younger people dying now that it freaks me out. I'm in that category now where every day I hear somebody died because they had some sort of, or they had a heart attack or whatever, something to do with actual health, not like they got hit by a car or whatever, the health-wise. That scares me. And that's why I try my best to eat as clean as I can, try to reduce the amount of processed food, try to reduce the amount of sugar, try to work out or move at least daily, even if it's not a gym, just to go for a walk.
Yeah.
Basic things. So what were the changes for you that you had to implement that had biggest impact for you? Because we've tried lots of different things, right? To get your body to kick in, to doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. It took a while.
But it worked. So what was it?
Yeah, we got there in the end. I think the biggest thing was eating more, which, I've listened to the other podcasts that you've had, and that was probably one of the biggest challenges for a lot of us, is the eating more, because it just doesn't, I guess we've been brought up with, less calories in, et cetera, and then wondering why it doesn't work. So I did struggle a wee bit at the beginning with, I'm just not hungry. I can't possibly eat anymore. But it was, probably the eating more. And I think the other biggest change was actually putting myself first.
Yeah.
It's just normal to put everyone else ahead of you.
Exactly. Yeah. I always try to remind myself, if you can't pour out of empty cup, and if I have no energy, I can't look after anyone else in the house. As simple as that.
Agreed.
What kind of changes did we make to your food? Because we've made changes.
Yeah, I cut out a lot of gluten, which I was kind of doing anyway, but I think I made more of an effort during this journey just to be really conscious of, what I was putting on my food, like crumbs on chicken and stuff, which, potentially didn't need, but always tasted good. And we did trial the no dairy, which I did struggle with a wee bit, just to try and get that protein up. I was missing, the cottage cheese, but I think that was when things started to move, because I was stuck at a certain weight and it just would not budge. And then we just made those little tweaks, and it'll be interesting to see how I can incorporate those back into my lifestyle and just see if it makes any changes, any difference.
Well, the way you...
And the no alcohol.
No alcohol. That's a big one. Because
it wasn't no alcohol, but it was reduced alcohol.
Reduced. Well, when it comes to gluten and dairy, the best way to do it is you introduce one thing at a time. If you didn't have any of it, let's say for 8 weeks or 16 weeks or whatever, the longer you have it, the bigger response you're going to get when you introduce it back, if it's any issue for your body. So if it's no issue, it doesn't matter how long you go without it, you should be okay. But if your body doesn't like it, doesn't agree with it, then when you introduce it back, then that's when you're going to feel the biggest impact. So you do one day at a time. You might bring dairy back, or you might bring gluten back, and you wait 2-3 days and you weigh yourself daily to see how you feel, how it affects your mood. Are you looking swollen? Are you feeling tired? Are you moody? Because it's not just about the scales, it's also how we feel emotionally and physically as well. Yeah. And then you jump on scales and see if your weight's gone up. Like, you still stay within your calories because you know what your maintenance calories are. So maintenance calories, realistically, you should not be gaining weight because it's your maintenance calories. You're only gaining weight if it's inflammation in your body, water retention. There's lots of differences. Overtraining, again, water retention. But realistically, if you stand within your maintenance calories or even in deficit calories, and you had something that your body didn't agree with, chances are you will retain water and you're going to be heavy on scales. So that's going to be one of the signs that it's probably not good for you. So that's what you'll do. Yeah. You'll introduce one thing at a time, see how your body responds for it, and then it's a decision for you to make. Do you want to keep putting that on your body if it doesn't agree with it or not? You know what impact it makes. Yeah. And like I said, it's not about scales. It's about what it does to your body that you can't see, but you can feel it. And when we have a little bit of something that's not good for us, our body can tolerate it and adjust to it. So if you constantly have, let's say, lactose intolerant, not in the bad way, but a little bit lactose intolerant, but you constantly have a little bit of it, it's like my husband, you can tolerate and you adjust. But if you cut it out and bring it back, then you truly can feel how it makes your body feel. So that's what you'll do. Once you want to introduce something back, do one thing at a time, wait 2-3 days before you either cut it out or carry on, and then you can introduce another one and see how it makes you feel. Probably one a week would be better, will give you better, I guess, feedback as well. Yeah. So were there any moments that you wanted to give up?
Yeah.
All the time.
Well, I suppose that there were times where, like I was saying before, where the scales were just not budging, and I felt like I was eating really clean. I was exercising. I was doing all the right things, and nothing was working. But then all of a sudden, things started to move. So I don't think, I think on the top level, I was like, oh, this is just not working. It's another thing that's failed. But I think having our regular check-ins and, just doing those little tweaks kind of keeps that motivation going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't want to give up because I kind of felt like this was the first time in years. I've tried every diet under the sun. I've done everything. And I think the last time a diet worked, I was 28 after I had my daughter. But everything else in between has, I've budged a couple of kilos, but I haven't seen the massive changes that I've seen this time. Obviously that the weight side of it is fantastic, and I'm really happy. Still not finished, but it's all the other changes that are just, the bank balance isn't very happy because I've had to buy new clothes, but yeah, which is not a bad thing. Yeah, it's the other changes that have had the biggest impact, I think, and just how I see myself.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's awesome. And we did try fasting too, didn't we?
Yes, and that I think, so that's another thing that I've tried along my way to lose some weight was the intermittent fasting and the 5 and 2, and I've had family members who have done it and it's been really successful, but they also haven't been at this stage of their life either. So I tried it and it wasn't working. I was just hungry and still fat. So it was not really the best option, but I'm finding that a once a week, that 24-hour gut reset is really working for me. So I'll continue to do that week.
Yeah, I found that with a lot of women that seems to be good. When every fast that people do, there should be a purpose for it. There's different purpose, like the 24 hours, 48 hours, 36 hours, 72 hours. There is a certain purpose for certain fast. And 24-hour is a gut reset. So like every time we did it with you, it was after either you went away and had a big weekend or you overindulged on something. So it was more like a reset, reduce inflammation so we can get back on track faster, and it's worked every single time, right? The other thing as well, you're saying you're not there yet. Well, sometimes, and I think you looking fantastic, and we're always never satisfied with our own results and where we are. But sometimes our body gets set on certain weight and goes, I'm not moving. I'm happy here. I'm happy. And maybe that's a sign. Maybe that's a time where you have to go on a maintenance for about 6 months before you consider another weight loss again, because your body needs to readjust. And when you in weight loss for too long, like let's say, I don't know, 16 weeks or 20 weeks, then you have to spend the same amount of time in maintenance before you go into calorie deficit again. Because if you're constantly sitting in calorie deficit, you will slow your metabolism down and your body just will be working on that pace. But if we want to have another go at weight loss, then we should go on the maintenance for 20 weeks, sit where you are with higher calories, and then go for weight loss after that, once your metabolism recovered.
Okay.
So that's when you will get better outcome than trying to fight the fight, and you might not win anymore because your metabolism slowed down.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. So how do you feel now compared to where you were when we first started? And what would you say to someone listening who is, in the same spot as you?
I feel a bit younger, actually, which I
Who
didn't
does
expect.
know on that?
Which is, quite a nice thing to do when the big 5-0's coming up at the end of the year. I just don't feel so down, I think.
Yeah.
More energy. Don't really mind how I look now. Whereas before it was, don't need a mirror, just going to get dressed. And I think I've changed the way I present myself as well.
Confident.
Yeah, sleeping better. Yeah, just so many positive results.
That's so cool.
I think I need to kick myself a wee bit to focus on those rather than I didn't quite get to my 10 kilo loss, but I got to 8, and that's 8 less than I was, in October. So, just, I guess, change my mindset.
Yeah, and you have to remember that you didn't go head out super strict all the way. You had a couple of times you went away, you had birthdays, holidays, you had
Yeah.
drinking weekends and things like
Pres-
that. So it's fantastic outcome with not being
Yeah.
100%. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because it's life, right? Who does 100%?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think some weekends I've just, when I did go away, I just relaxed a wee bit, knowing that, when I came home, I can just reset, and I knew the changes that I need to make when I stepped back into the house. And yes, some things I did find challenging. If I got stuck outside the house and I hadn't taken anything, what am I going to eat? And it's, trying to train your brain to not reach for the easiest thing. But
it's hard though.
But on the other, some of those things are easy. Just go and grab a protein bar or whatever. Yeah, it's just little tricks, I guess. And just bring prepared.
Yeah, and it's a learning process. It's never ending. You're always learning. You're always watching out for those triggers that trigger you to do certain things and acknowledging it. And that's quite important. Well, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your experience.
Thanks, pleasure.
I'm sure that's going to be very empowering and encouraging for other women, so they know
that definitely. But for those that are thinking about it, it's definitely that's a fantastic journey. It's so good.
If you have any questions about this podcast or about hormones, weight loss, or just healthier lifestyle, please go to our website at lifehackcoaching.co.nz or feel free to email me directly, Anastasia@lifehackcoaching.co.nz.